Hello, my beautiful reader friends. It's Tiffany with an IE, as you can see. And I am joined by Danny the dinosaur, who is a giant dinosaur squishmallow. He's also very soft. And my newest acquisition to the family, this is Galar Ponyta. So, yeah, she is a fairy and psychic type. And it's really cute. And she looks like a My Little Pony, but in Pokemon form. She's also very soft. It reminds me of like cotton candy dreams and stuff. But anyways, welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, I will be doing part 2 of my most anticipated releases for 2021. So this is for the months of May to August. And yeah, let's just get into it because there are a lot of releases. So first off, we have May 4th, and there are 6 books that I'm really excited for on this day. So first we have The Last Fallen Star by Gracie Kim, and this is one of the Rick Riordan Presents titles, and it has to do with Korean mythology, specifically like Korean witches, which is very interesting. So yeah, the next title is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He, and she is the same author of Descendant of the Crane. And yeah, like this cover, it's so beautiful, and I'm just really excited for it. It's described as We Were Liars meets Black Mirror and has a dash of Studio Ghibli, which sounds like fun. The next book is Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. She's the author of Daughter of the Pirate King, Daughter of the Siren Queen, and The Shadows Between Us, and also what's the Warriors one? Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Forgot the title of her other book for a second, but it is Warrior of the Wild. But anyways, Blade of Secrets, the blurb for this, or the synopsis for this, is basically it's about a teenage blacksmith who has social anxiety, and she accepts a commission from the wrong person and then is forced to go on the run with this like super powerful like sword, like the basically the greatest and most powerful sword that she's ever made. So it sounds fascinating. I actually remember on February 29th of last year, one of the few like book signings that before COVID happened that I was able to attend. I think it was like my third to last book signing. But anyways, yeah, she talked about this book then, and she gave us the pitch, and it sounded really interesting. Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. And then the next book is Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard, and we know her from the Red Queen series. This one's described as like kind of like it has a band of misfits, versus like this like the darkness or like dark entity, dark villain type of thing. So yeah, that sounds interesting. I still need to finish the Red Queen series. I've read 3 pages of Red Queen. So yeah, but I did meet Victoria Aveyard when she came here a long time ago to Mysterious Galaxy for Red Queen when it came out. So yeah, that was quite a long time ago. Anyways, the next book on this list is Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee, who is known for all the YA historical fiction about Chinese Americans and stuff. And yeah, and she is awesome. I have yet to meet her, but she's really good friends with Stephanie Garber, who kept talking about how she got to read this early, and we were all jealous of her. But Yeah, anyways, so this is this follows twin British Chinese acrobats that were aboard the Titanic when it sank. And this was inspired by the six Titanic survivors of Chinese descent. So, really interesting. And then the last book, the sixth book that's coming out on May 4th, is Sunkissed by Casey West. And I love Casey West books. I haven't read all of them yet, but I tend to save them for like when I'm in a reading slump because I know I can read one of her books and like in a day or two. And so Sunkissed is it takes place during the summer at a family resort, and shenanigans and romance ensue basically. So the next release date is the following week on May 11th. And the first book is Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova. And this is the sequel to Incendiary. And so this is about a girl who has been kidnapped and then she's later rescued. And she works for the rebel spies. And there's some magical elements involved because it is fantasy. Kind of like high fantasy, I think. So this is going to be a duology, and it sounds really good. So can't wait to read it. I definitely need to read all of Zoraida's books because they all sound equally fascinating. The next book is From Little Tokyo with Love by Sarah Kuhn. She wrote the Heroine Complex books, which are pretty funny. And she also wrote I Love You So Mochi, which sounds so cute, and I have. And Sarah is actually a local author, and she's biracial. So yeah, this book takes place in LA, in Little Tokyo, obviously. And yeah, the main character is biracial, and her cousins are named after Disney characters. It sounds like a fun, cutesy, like contemporary romance, and yeah, the cover is great. So excited for that. And then the third book that's released on this day, May 11th, is Fix by J. Albert Mann. So Jennifer actually was an alum at my program, my graduate school program, and she was actually a graduating student while I was attending, so I got to meet her. She was really cool, and yeah, this is actually not her first book, but yeah, it's the first book that I've heard that I've heard about. But she has some other books and also some like short stories and stuff. This one's written in like a mixture of verse and prose. It has to do with like opioids, regret, and grief, and mental health, that sort of thing. And it follows like two girls who used to be friends but then are no longer friends, and then one of them apparently gets into an accident, and she wishes to go back to the time back when the girls were friends. And yeah, it sounds interesting. So, and then for the next week on May 18th, Mr. Impossible by Maggie Stiefvater is released, and that is the sequel to Call Down the Hawk, which is the first book in the Dreamer trilogy. And is the spin-off series from The Raven Cycle. And this follows Ronan because he's a dreamer. And yeah, his new friends, I guess. I still need to read Call Down the Hawk, so I need to read a lot of the books that go before all the other books on this list. But yeah, so then the following week, on May 25th, we have two releases. So we have Tokyo Ever After by Emiko Jean. She wrote Empress of All Seasons. And yeah, I mean, this cover is just so stunning. Super excited for it. It's pitched as Crazy Rich Asians meets Princess Diaries, and that just sounds really awesome. I haven't read Princess Diaries, but I remember watching the movies growing up and really enjoying those. But yeah, I know books can be quite different from movies, so we'll see how that goes. And then the other release is Hani and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating by Adiba Jaigadar. Um, yeah, so she also wrote The Henna Wars, which I have a copy of, and yeah, I'm just so excited. Like, fake dating as a trope is pretty awesome. So, yeah. And then now let's move to June. We have June 1st with quite a number of things, 5 releases. So first we have An Emotion of Great Delight by Tahara Mafi. She's known for the Shatter Me series, as well as the Furthermore, Furthermore and Witchwood, which are both middle grade books of hers. And then also A Very Large Expanse of Sea, which is her contemporary novel set after 9/11 and has to do with post 9/11 racism and stuff. And also breakdancing and a biracial or an interracial relationship. Yeah. And then An Emotion of Great Delight is set in 2003, and it's several months after the US declared war on Iraq. So yeah, more tensions. And then the next book is Better Together by Christine Riccio. Christine is a booktuber. Her channel name is Poland Bananas Book and Books, or just books. Yeah, so she wrote Again But Better. That was her debut novel, and this is her second novel. And she's currently working on her third novel. So yeah, this one is an LGBT version of Freaky Friday meets The Parent Trap. So that sounds fun. I love both of those movies back in the day. The next book is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nevo. She wrote the 2 novellas of the Singing Hills cycle called The Empress of Salt and Fortune, and also When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain. And this is her debut novel. It's about the main character, Jordan Baker, is adopted and she's queer and Asian, and it's a retelling of The Great Gatsby, but you know, POC and LGBT. So yeah, super excited. The cover looks so beautiful. I'm just without words. The next one is A Chorus Rises by Bethany C. Morrow, who wrote A Song Below Water. This is the companion novel to it, and it follows a teen influencer who kind of had some backlash, and and then she's trying to prove she's trying to either out a siren or prove the existence of one or something. But it's pitched as Thug, or The Hate You Give, meets Shadow Shaper by Daniel Jose Older. So that's an interesting pitch for it. Yeah. And then the final book, this one I just found out about recently, but Nicola Yoon finally has a third book after, her first 2 books being popular and made into movies. Hadn't heard much from her or like what she'd been working on, but she finally has a new book coming out, and it's called Instructions for Dancing. And it's set in the La Brea Dance Studio. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And that's in LA. And the main character is kind of disillusioned and doesn't really believe in love because she sees this couple kissing, and she has a vision of like how their romance will start and end, and she's just like, oh no. But then she meets this boy, and yeah, and they start dancing together and they fall in love and just, yeah, all the risks. So it sounds like fun, and the cover is also quite pretty. And then we have June 15th, which is 2 weeks later. We have Sisters of the Snake by Sasha and Serena Nanyua. Yeah, Nanyua. This is, I mean, this reminded me of The Prince and the Pauper. So it's like a South Asian retelling of that. And it says it's for fans of the Crowns game and the Tiger at Midnight. So yeah, and the cover is beautiful. The authors are twin sisters, so that's pretty awesome too. And then the following week on June 22nd, we have a graphic novel called Jukebox, and this is by Nidhi Chanani and Nick Giordano. And Nidhi was actually the author and illustrator for Pashmina, which is a pretty popular like middle grade graphic novel. Yeah, so this looks really cute. It has to do with like this jukebox that is like the source of time travel, and yeah, it just sounds really cool. And then the other book is My Contrary Mary by Brody Ashton, Cynthia Hand, and Jody Meadows. Now, if you recognize this author duo, they also did the My Lady Janie series, which is My Lady Jane, My Plain Jane, and My Calamity Jane, following different Janes throughout history. So yeah, this one, well, this series is going to be like 3 different Marys. So this one, My Contrary Mary, follows the Queen of Scotland, or Queen Mary of Scotland. And yeah, so it sounds good. And I haven't read the My Lady Janie's series yet, but I have them all. And I just want to collect these books, and then I will binge read them, probably. And then we have June 29th, which is the following week. We have Generation Misfits by Kemi Dawn Bowman. This is her middle grade debut that I think I had mentioned or alluded to in part 1 for this video series. Yeah, because she also had the Infinity Courts that just came out in April. And she's the author of Starfish and Summerbird Blue and Harley in the Sky, which all have beautiful covers. And yeah, this one has to do with J-pop, so it sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, now moving into July, we have July 6th. We have 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. She wrote Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk. And this is set in the same world as that, or the same universe. And it sounds really interesting. It has to do with like a lot of like different mythological stuff. So I'm super excited, and the cover is also beautiful. A lot of these covers are really pretty, so yeah. And then we have July 13th. We have 2 books. We have Wings of Shadow by Nikki Palpretto. This is the 3rd and final book in the Crown of Feathers trilogy. It has to do with Phoenix Riders, and yeah, it's pretty cool. They are thick books, so I am quite intimidated by them. And then the other book is All These Warriors by Amy Tintera. This is the sequel to All These Monsters, and yeah, it's a duology. So I have Amy Tintera's other books, and this series is follows a girl who joins this like dangerous monster fighting squad, and it says it's perfect for fans of Warcross and Renegades. And I love Marie Lu and Marissa Meyer so much. So yeah, I can't wait to read the series eventually because I just have so many things on my TBR. But yeah, and then we have July 27th, which is 2 weeks later. We have Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. She wrote House of Salt and Sorrows, which was actually a book pick for Mysterious Galaxies YA Book Club. And yeah, House of Salt and Sorrows was really awesome. But Small Favors, it's also like another retelling. This one is a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. So it sounds interesting and also has a bit of like a horror aspect to it as well. And the cover is just so beautiful, just like her other book. Just beautiful covers. Just so excited. I love her writing. And then the other book is Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mahurin. This is the third and final book in the Serpent and Dove trilogy, which was originally a duology but got extended. And I've only read Serpent and Dove, so I need to catch up by reading Blood and Honey and then Gods and Monsters when it comes out. But all these covers are really pretty and they match. So yeah, it's really great. Okay, almost done. So next we have August releases. We have 2 releases on August 3rd. The first one is Paula Santiago and the Forest of Nightmares by Taylor K. Mejia. This is the sequel to Paula Santiago and the River of Tears. I'm surprised I memorized that, or that I remember that. Anyways, this is another one of the Rick Riordan Presents titles, and this has to do with like Mexican mythology, I guess, because it has to do with La Llorona, who is like the crying woman that steals children and drowns them. So yeah. And then the other release is All's Well by Mona Awad, who wrote Bunny, and Bunny was such a weird book, but I loved it. Heard about it from Books and Lala's channel, but yeah, this one I also heard from Books and Lala, but I'm super excited. You can tell by the title that it has to do with All's Well That Ends Well, you know, Shakespeare's play. But the premise of this is that the professor, like the theater professor, wants to stage that play, but her like theater class actually mutinies and they instead put on Macbeth instead, the cursed play. So yeah, sounds interesting. And then finally, 2 weeks later, on August 17th, I have Cazadora by Romina Garber. This is the sequel to Lobizona, and I'm just so excited. I loved Lobizona so much, and I just cannot wait to dive back into this world and yeah, see what Manu and her friends are up to, and just how the world building and plot and everything progresses. And it is a trilogy, so then after this, one more book. But yeah, that is it for all my anticipated releases for May through August. I know this video is kind of long, but yeah, and I'm also kind of tired because it's almost 5 a.m., so I should sleep soon. But anyways, Pony Toss is by, and Danny the Dinosaurs is by as well. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye!